Welcome back. Now we're going to the classroom. And what are we talking about today? Do you know there is some place, well, not place as such, called the Office of the Citizen? You are a citizen of a country. You have a role to play in your country. The National Council for Social Studies believes that the primary goal of public education is to prepare students to be engaged and effective citizens. The Council has defined an effective citizen as one who has the knowledge, skills, and attitudes required to assume the office of the citizen in a democracy. Well, I've said my bit. Our teacher this morning is a human potential maximization expert, Chinedum Akitidiego. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Wow. Human potential maximization expert. Now, could you please translate that into English?
Okay, so most of my life I've worked in the HR space, human resources space. I believe that everybody has potential in them. Everybody, there's something you're here to do. And my role is to help you do that thing.
Okay, okay.
In whatever way. It could be through my books, it could be through my sessions. Anyway.
Okay. So, the Office of the Citizen, what exactly is that?
In reality, it's the most powerful office in the world. However, in nations like Nigeria, it could actually be the least powerful in the world.
Why
and
so,
the reason
in Nigeria in particular?
Well, because of years and years of acculturation and wrong thinking, wrong information. So, for example, the average citizen you meet says to you, what's the point of voting? They know who they want to choose. So let's just take it. But they fail to realize that the more of us that vote, it makes looting, it makes cheating harder. And so the whole essence of being a citizen is being aware that I'm not just here. I mean, God didn't make an error in bringing you here. I mean, although some of us sometimes feel it's an error, but you're here for a reason. Nigeria should be better because you came. You shouldn't just sit down and complain about how bad everything is.
But Chinedum.
Yes.
Chinedum.
Yes.
How many times
How many
did I call
times did I call you? 3 times.
Okay. So Chinedum, first of all, there are those who will tell you, I did not choose to be born here.
I agree.
Now I am born here. I did not create the situation that Nigeria is in. Why do you want to saddle me with the responsibility of how Nigeria turns out?
Okay, so let me answer your question in a roundabout way. So about 3 days ago, I was driving along Lekki Ekpe Expressway, and I noticed on Freedom Way that there were some 2 girls in 2020 who were carrying water on their head. And for some reason, it saddened me. You know why? Because I realized that those girls are carrying water because me and you are not doing what we should be doing.
Which is?
Why? Because, first and foremost, piped-borne water has been in existence since the 1800s.
Chinedum, wait. let me talk. Just wait. Let me talk to Alera. Alera. So what Chinedum is trying to say is that you and I have a responsibility
To provide water for them.
I don't get
We don't. Okay. We don't. Because we are not in power. And we cannot go and be digging borehole in their houses, can we? Well,
So the problem,
no, we can face her now.
Okay.
So the problem with how we think is that when we see those people walking on the road, we say, what's my business?
Okay, Chinedum. Okay, again, we'll take a quick break. I'll be back shortly.
What's my business?
And what? Thank you for staying with us. We're still in class, social studies. So, Chinedum, the question I asked earlier was, this person who did not choose to be born here is born here, and now you're wanting the person, and the person is not didn't make the country the way it is, but you're saying the person is responsible for where the country is going to. How does that work? And then you started talking about two girls carrying water. That Alera and I should have provided water for them.
Okay, so we cannot be in a country and not be concerned about what's happening to the person to our left and to the person to our right. Simple, clear cases. When we were growing up, our fences were lower. You knew what was happening in the next door houses.
There were no fences.
I mean, as we grew, it changed. Okay. Today, they're high as prison yards, and you don't know what's going on in your next door neighbor's house. And anything could be happening. But to the point about the two girls carrying water and why it's our fault because we don't care. We're so concerned about just us. A true citizen is not just concerned about just themselves. They're concerned about themselves, because you can't love your neighbor without loving yourself. So you're concerned about yourself, but you're also concerned about your neighbor. Because if things are not going right with your neighbor, they could affect you. Okay, so we need to pay more attention. So you see a child hawking during school time. It shouldn't just be, oh, government should do something about it. It should be, what can I do about it? Why? Because the hellhole that your nation becomes without concerned citizens is that hellhole that you're so choosing to leave now.
Okay, so Chinedum, so I see a child at Maryland Junction hawking during school hours. What do I do?
Okay, so
as a citizen?
Okay, there are agencies that you're supposed to report these issues to. First and foremost, but let's not also just think about far away, but close to home. Some of us know people who are hawking on the road. For some, schools are just as cheap as, God forbid, 1,000 naira. And I'm not saying you can't solve everybody's problem, but you can solve the problems within your immediate cycle. And the first thing is that you have to care. So we look at England, we look at America today, and we're excited about how developed they are. But it started with people who cared. So, for example, when there were the chimney children who, during the day, were cleaning chimneys for little monies, people who cared said, come, 10 years from now, where would these kids be? What kind of nation would we have?
I'm rubber.
You see, and because they were concerned, they say, okay, let's start a school. We forget that all these things were not government things. They started as people who were concerned. So take another example. The police in the UK, which is why they're called Bobbies, were started by Sir Bobby, a rich man who sat down and thought, come on, we need some order. So yes, we've gone past all that space now. Everything is government. But the question is, from where you and I sit, what can we do different? So you see that child in Maryland hawking. First thing, are you even concerned? That for me is the first thing. Does it first bother you?
It bothers me, but I
citizen
say
of Nigeria is essentially being groomed into prostitution, agberoship, whatever. So at least if you
when I see them, what I say to myself is, where is this child's mother?
So where's the mother? Where's the father? Where are the systems that ordinarily, because when you talk to us, we say, oh, we are traditional Africans and we care about each other. Where is that?
Okay, so let me ask a question.
Okay.
What makes a citizen? Is it birth? Or is it naturalization? What makes one a citizen of any place?
Okay, so we all know that in modern societies, it's a combination. So it could be birth, it could be naturalization. So most of us are moving to Canada because we want to go where people who don't have two heads have made the country good. And we've told ourselves our country can never be good. I mean, I don't want to tell you the number of people who have asked me, what country? We can never fix this country. First and foremost, the people you're running to don't think or talk about their country like that. So naturalization by birth, I mean, primarily it's by birth. None of us chose here. But I mean, as Africans in general, we believe in a God being who is intelligent, and he wasn't wicked. He didn't say, let me punish these people and put them in Nigeria. But you know what? Every nation was built. Do you know that there was a time that UK was worse than this? There was that time. There was a time the US was worse than this.
But do you also know that there was a time when Nigerians rushed to come back home after studying abroad to come and help build Nigeria?
I did as well. I sometimes feel like a big fool because in my class, I was the only Nigerian that returned. And they told me I was a fool. And sometimes, some days, I won't lie, I feel like a big fool. But the reality is that there is a responsibility to everything that's given to you. So even your birth is a responsibility. It's an inheritance given by God. And you know, God always, He will ask you. There's a reward for everything. You know, we think that we just get up, what's different? No, there is a difference. There's a difference for caring. There's a reward for caring and putting Nigeria well, making Nigeria work. There is a reward. So the question is, do we just want to... I always tell my friends, I say, the people you're running to, they don't have two heads. They built their nations. No nation was built by God. God did not send any angel anywhere. Every nation you see that is working was built by people who were thinking and working towards making the nation work. Now, I agree with you. There's so many things in Nigeria that don't work. One of them, primary for me, is this issue. I'm trying to remember the name where you say, because I'm from the north, I can get 50%, then somebody who is from the south has to get 200%.
Federal character.
It makes no sense. The truth of the matter, there's no nation that is built on injustice. That is a clear injustice. Clear. Now, I always say to my friends from the north, because I'm proud of my heritage. I was born in Kano. My parents are from the east. I schooled in Zaria. I've lived in Lagos. I'm a true Nigerian. There's nobody who can harass me on any point.
So you speak Hausa, you speak Yoruba?
See, also the great thing about it is that I don't speak any of them greatly. So I'm a true Nigerian.
You understand all of them.
I try. I can pick from all. So the question I always say is, all of us, we have advantage. Every state, every
region.
We all have advantage. But you know our problems? We don't tell each other the truth. And we focus on our weaknesses rather than focus on our strengths. And there's no nation, no place, no home, no office, nothing that is built without focusing on strengths. So I say to the Hausas, for whatever reason, God has given you capacity to govern. To the Igbo man, for whatever reason, God has given you power to make wealth. To the Westerner, for whatever reason, God has given you capacity for education, for development, for planning. Can we come together and use these things? Okay. Can we stop stoning each other for what we don't have? So that's my point. As per, you are a Nigerian. You didn't choose it. Nobody chose it. But can you make it worth it? Can you make that when you stand before your maker, you can say, I did everything I could do. I did all that was in my power to do. So we have this fantastic, our national anthem, our pledge. Those things are supposed to remind us consistently. I have a duty for this nation. I have a duty. Doesn't matter whether it's working or not.
Let me quickly bring this in.
Okay.
Ademola Afolayan says, we never chose to be here, but God created us here. How do we fight the government that is sending Boko Haramis to learn abroad? He put out a newspaper headline. Says, repentant terrorists to enjoy foreign education. That's a bill that's being proposed in the Senate. So Afolayan is saying, Chinedum should please note that it is not our youth's fault, but the leaders God gave us.
Okay, you know, it's sad, but we are all, what's it called? The kind of leaders we have is representative of us. Our leaders didn't come from hell or the waters. They came from amongst us. They returned to being amongst us. Those same leaders who we stone from afar, when we're near them, we never tell them the truth. So, yes, it's not, I say to young people, I'm in my 40s. People still call me young in Nigeria. How can you call a 40-something-year-old woman young? You are not young. You are halfway to death. You know? And so you then have somebody who is, people who are in their 80s, leading you in the future, and you are the bulk of the nation and you're not doing anything about it.
Like that Kenyan said, where are they leading us to? The grave?
You know, so questions for me. Yes, I agree that as young people, we haven't been dealt a good card, but have we fought for a better card?
The young people who get the privilege, opportunity to serve in government, how effective have they been?
But then also, you then also have to ask, how did they come? Yeah. So we live in a society that rewards poor service, poor quality thinking, poor. I mean, so it seems like it's better to be less than good. You are in a country that is led, the worst are leading the best. Come on, there's no miracle that's going to happen. I work in HR. I'll never forget. I was asked by a northern leader in my business, not my current business, of course, to hire someone with a pass. With a pass.
When you have people with 2-1s.
People with first classes
class.
that are looking for a job. And he said to me, if you don't sign it, someone else will sign it. I said, I won't sign it. I tell you, I did not keep that job for long. But you know what? So for me, I always tell people, I live a better life. I'm more I can put my hand on my chest. I'm happy that I made that choice. Now, that may not have been a choice that everybody would take, but we need to be taking more choices that are not just connected to bread and butter, because we will all die. Do you understand? It's not like, oh, if I just do this, I won't die. We all will die.
So we should be known for something.
Yes, we should stick out,
not
our
accept
heads.
mediocrity.
Yes, we cannot be a society that rewards people for mediocrity. So all these young people who are in positions now, they are being rewarded clearly for mediocrity. So those are questions and conversations that we need to be more concerned about having. Who is leading us? Why is that person leading me? Does he have capacity to lead me? What are the quality of his thoughts? And this is not before you come for elections. This is a lifelong thing. I didn't write a book today. I wrote that book because these were my persuasions that this country can be better. Now, when you're thinking about people to put in positions, are you thinking of us?
That's the persuasion of many of us, and we're still waiting for the better to happen. But that hope has kept us alive and going, because we're still hoping and believing that Nigeria will be, it can be and it will be a better place.
It needs to be.
Because
for our children's sake.
We have everything.
Even if we don't care for our sake, for our children's sake. We're bringing people into this world who we can't provide for.
Chinedum Akiti Diego, human potential maximization expert. I must say I admire your passion.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming this morning.
Thank you for having me.